Good morning, Fort Hill Presbyterian Church, along with any other guests who happen to be joining us this morning on this just terrific Tuesday morning. And welcome to yet another daily devotional. As you know, this season we're exploring the different fruits of the Spirit. And this week's a little bit different as we cover a lot of different fruits of the Spirit. As this past Sunday we had the joy of being led in worship by our children's ministry, who helped us go through and talk about all of the different fruits of the Spirit. So with that in mind, I thought something that was interesting and related to fruits is that one of my favorite metaphors to describe kind of where we are as a society, or we as a country, I know often it's described as a melting pot, but one of my favorite metaphors is that we are not a melting pot, but we're a fruit salad instead, because in a melting pot everybody kind of just everything becomes one, everything becomes kind of homogenous, everything just melts into together, and you can't really distinguish it between the different parts. But in a fruit salad, you mix everything together, but everything is still distinct. You can still tell the watermelon apart from the strawberries, or the mangoes from the blueberries. But so that's one of my favorite metaphors, and I think that that's something that, as we think about the fruits of the Spirit, it should be something we think about, because when you think about the fruits of the Spirit, love and peace and gentleness and kindness, those are all things that are really much easier in most times to do and to demonstrate to people that we know and to people that we care about and the people that we love. But it's far different to do that in the context of people that we don't know, people that we don't necessarily agree with, or we don't necessarily enjoy being around as much. But thinking about the image of the fruit salad, we're in a society, we're in a world where we are surrounded by people who have different opinions and different viewpoints, and they're just different than us. There are people that are going to be different than you and different than me, that we have to be engaged. We're engaged with them on a daily basis, on a very regular basis. So the question is, how do we translate those fruits of the Spirit that we're getting a lot of practice with showing to those people who are closest to us, to a world where people aren't the same as us? How do we show to a world of people who are different than us? How do we do that? How do we go about doing such a thing? And I think that that's kind of a challenge for us to reflect on during this entire season, where we're getting this chance to reflect, and we're getting this chance to think more on these fruits of the Spirit. I think that that's something to consider as we move forward. Is, what are we going to do with it afterwards? How are we going to translate all of the discussions, all of the things that we've thought about, to a world that isn't all going to be the same as us? And I think that one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible, and it's one that I've preached on numerous times, is in Exodus, where as the Hebrews, as they're leaving Egypt, there's just this one little line, this one little off thing that says, "And a mixed crowd," or "a mixed multitude went with them," which I think it really applies to where we are. We're not just one homogenous group, that we're a mixed crowd of people. We're not, even within Fort Hill, we're a mixed crowd of people. Within this country, we're a mixed crowd of people. So how are we going to translate these same fruits of the Spirit to the diverse crowd that we are, this diverse group that we are? I think that that's something for all of us to reflect on, and all of us to be really considerate of as we look forward to post-quarantine, and when we're back out into our daily routines. Is, how are we going to translate these fruits of the Spirit past this? How are we going to translate these fruits of the Spirit to those who are a little bit different, or maybe a lot bit different than us? And I think that that is something that we can all pray about today. So will you please join me in prayer? Dear God, you are God of the multitude. You are God of mixed crowds and diverse groups. We pray today that you help us to translate the lessons that we've learned and translate those fruits of the Spirit that we're getting the chance to cultivate during this season to those that at times we deem the hardest and sometimes deem just the most difficult to display these fruits of the Spirit with. And we just pray that you help us to do that and you embolden us to stretch ourselves and step past barriers in an attempt to show your love. And we just pray that you help us to do this and reflect on this during this season. And we pray this in your name. Amen. So as we look forward to the future, as we look forward to returning to the mixed crowd, let us reflect and let us remember that the fruits of the Spirit are to be demonstrated to all and are meant to be demonstrated to all. For all are loved and all are shown mercy and grace and love by God. Amen.